See, what I was looking for this morning is I was looking for who are all the damn Fed governors and what are they saying and who's speaking when and where. And apparently Esther George from is speaking right now, saying time's right for a near-term rate hike via Bloomberg. Now, you know, does that is that what's giving the dollar a little bit of a boost right now? I think it is, and we're going to see different Fed governors. We're going to see different central bankers making comments over the course of the next couple of days, and I just wanted to see if there's some schedule of events, but a lot of them at the same time, they're talking to the press during these during these next couple of days. So you're going to get random remarks that come out, obviously at random times. So that's what I'm more curious about right now, and we've kind of got to stay on guard over the course of the next obviously the next couple of days. What I'm going to do with you guys this morning is, as you all know, we're going to obviously watch the news stream as stuff is being released and comments are being released. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a look at all the majors as we normally do here, and try to find some decent levels of what we should be buying or selling. Now, just so you all know, I'm short the Kiwi from yesterday. I'm short the Aussie. I'm only up like maybe 15 pips on each of those, and then I'm still long the dollar Swiss, which I've been long for the last couple of days, and I've added to the dollar Swiss on this dip, which is it's fine. I just wanted to make sure I had some dollar exposure going into this weekend, or going into Friday, knowing that Janet Yellen's going to be speaking, and knowing that gold's breaking lower too. I mean, that's obviously been a big deal for me. I am still long the Aussie New Zealand. It just came really close to my stops again last night, but still long. Yeah, as frustrating as it is, it's still long. Okay, so let's we're gonna take a look at. We're gonna start with the euro dollar and get our analysis done. So here's the euro. And yesterday we talked about getting a move back up to 113 to look to short. Well, we stopped just shy of that, didn't we? So yesterday we drew this out like, wait for a bounce, bounce back to 113, and we basically got there. I think that I'm not short the euro right now. I'm actually long the I'm long the dollar Swiss, so in essence I'm short the euro, for all intents and purposes. But I guess 113 is going to be some resistance. Let's go over to an hourly. Let's see if we can narrow that down, a little bit better. So we can go from this last move down. The 113 levels of 50%, so 113.12 would be the 618 retracement. So let's just call it 113.15. Okay. So this really, here, I'll just do it this way. Look, I'm just going to draw a little bit. I'm going to go off our drawing from yesterday. Right? So any move here to 113.15, you probably want to use it as a selling opportunity if we can get it. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get it. And we're in a range. Support 112.30. Nothing's changed there, right? Still key support. You guys know that this is the breakout point. So if we break below the breakout point, then that's going to be pretty problematic for the euro dollar. I also, I'm going to take a step back for a moment, since we have plenty of time today to do analysis. And by the way, did I say? And I don't know if I said this, but hey, thanks to you guys for hanging out. Today it's summer. I know Uh, there are a lot of people that are finding much better things to do right now than being further computer trading. But because you guys are trading, I'm glad that you all are here hanging out with me. So thank you very much for spending your day, morning with me. Um, okay, so from a longer term perspective, so we're below this trend line, rejected there, this last week. We had a 618 retracement. Okay. We also had 161% extension. That stopped us in our tracks at 113.50. So we know that 113.50 is big, big resistance moving forward. Um, that's why now if you just get a rally into if you can get a rally from here, that's what you want to use as a selling opportunity. I think probably looks something like this. Actually, you know what? Let me remove that. Let me try something else. Let's do that, right? Let's see. That I think is that I think is doable. Okay. So if we can get a move up to 113.15 today, I might actually sell some euro dollars up there if we can. Oh God. Oh, by the way, I went out with my best friends last night. It feels like I've been celebrating my birthday for like a week. So if last night, these are my best friends that I've grown up with since junior high school, and we've been friends for 30 years. That's obviously me. And then uh, he's not on Twitter. Those guys, we are all former Marines. We joined the military together. We've pretty much done everything together over the years. So, yeah. Anyway, and I went out for a few beers last night, but I was home early. I mean, I was home for dinner time, which is good. I'm not a good during the week beer drinker, that's for sure. I don't do it often. All right. Anyway, that's why if I give you a little yawn here and there, that's the reason why. Um, let's uh, let's got the euro. Let's go over to the cable. So I love it when I post. I posted yesterday a chart of the pound. I said the pound's facing key resistance, and then I get a response from some random person. It's going higher. I'm like, okay, all right, if you say so, whatever. No, like I don't know you, first of all, and second of all, I don't think you're right. Um, and then I get crickets. So we hit the 786 yesterday, right? As we were here yesterday, and we said, oh, well, as we hit the 786, we're probably going to come down, and we're going to get to this breakout point here, this support, and we're going to figure out where we're going to go. Well, guess what, guys? We're here, right? From yesterday, we are doing it. Now, the question is, what happens at this red line? This is make it or break it for the cable. So it is 131.60, and that is key support because, as talked about yesterday, we're going to get either a bounce from here or it's going to break down and we're going to see a move back into the lower end of our triangle. Now, since I'm not a really good um, palm reader, predictor of weather patterns 5 weeks from now, you know, I can't foresee typhoons and how they build in the ocean a few months in advance. I'm going to have a hard time figuring out if we're going to bounce or break down here, but I think it's going to do one of two things, right? It's going to go up, down, or sideways. So if you want to be on the long side of the cable, if you really say, okay, well, I think the cable's going higher, there's too big of a short position, the pound's going to eventually squeeze higher because this is my thought, great, go long right now or soon. Put your stop right there. Because if you're wrong, you can be wrong cheaply. But if you're like me, and you're like, well, gold looks weak, I think the dollar's probably going to break lower, or the dollar's probably going to break higher as gold breaks lower, then you might be on the lookout for a breakdown below 131.60, because if we break that, then we're going to have some problems. Okay? Now, I would say resistance is still the 786 right here. This is resistance. Okay? Not actually there. Let's wait. No. Remove that. So resistance is actually right here. 132.75. It's actually 72, but that's all right. 132.75. And we may be in a range right now, but it is a bearish trend. I mean, and remember, it will stay bearish trend as long as we stay below 135. I know I tell you that every day, but nothing's changed, right? As long as we stay below 135, it's still a bearish trend. If you're getting long the cable, you know, if you're buying the pound dollar, well, you know, just realize you're trading counter trends. So if you're in the camp that the pound is going to squeeze and we're going back to 145 because the biggest short position historically of the cable is going to happen sooner or later, fine. Just realize you are trading counter trends, so just take smaller positions. Okay, dollar Swiss. I am long. My cost average is 96.35. Just so you all know. Why am I long the dollar Swiss? Because we have an Andrew says, your Twitter caption says last birthday. How do you know it's your last birthday? Well, you know, after I tweeted that, I'm like, how do I know? Wouldn't that be ironic? You know, if it is my last birthday, but it's just my last birthday celebration after celebrating 3,000 birthday parties over the last, you know, week. But anyway, here is the dollar Swiss, inverted head and shoulder pattern. Got a nice little hammer forming. Resistance. Now this is key, because see this? Oop, let me grab that. Okay, so by the time we get back up to this resistance, we're going to have a downtrend line that comes into play. You see that? So that means to me that this is going to be very significant resistance. Because if we break this, it's really going to start going. Okay. Support. Hmm. 96.40. It's a range. All right. Yeah. So we came back to the neckline. Now, if you guys are Forex analytics users, I posted this yesterday. Okay, it's a pattern in play. So if you go over to the dollar Swiss, this just give you an example of kind of what we do here at Forex Analytics too. If you look at like the alert that went out, whoops, so right here, inverted head and shoulder pattern in play, neckline at 96.50 or close to there should be strong support for longs, right? So basically I knew that this is the neckline, so if you dip down towards the neckline, this is a good place for longs. Get it? Okay. So, and I mean, I told you guys on air yesterday too. I just wanted to be very clear to everybody that this is inverted head and shoulder pattern. Dollar yen. Let's go to the dollar yen. 100, 101. Same crap, nothing different. This is your daily chart. That is our down channel. We are still in a bearish trend, so let's just, make sure we make that clear. We're in a bearish trend, but if we can get back above 101, a squeeze will start. The flip side to that is a break below 100. See this blue trend line right here? See that one? A break below 100 should cause a dollar sell-off. And the point I was trying to make yesterday for you guys is you have to pay very close attention to the dollar yen, because the dollar yen, like this sell-off here and this sell-off here is provoked and spurred dollar weakness. The flip side of that is this move up here and this move up here has provoked dollar strength. So if we do break above 101 and we squeeze up towards 104, that's probably going to, put some fuel on the fire for some dollar longs. Okay? So, support, 100. I think that's pretty key support. 101, I think that's pretty key resistance at this time. Dollar Canadian. Now, as you guys know, the dollar Canadian, you guys might have missed this analysis yesterday. If you missed me yesterday afternoon for the Lunch Money webinar, let me stop for a second and talk about the dollar Canadian. Okay. Now, the reason why my belief is the dollar Canadian can really squeeze, when I say squeeze, it can really go up right now, is because I think most people are looking at this. Most people are looking at the potential of the dollar Canadian going down to parity. Everybody looks at this chart and says, okay, it's a nice pennant, we're breaking down, crude oil is going to rally, crude oil is going back to, $60, Canadian's going to strengthen, huge, not only huge, it's going to be huge, right? And everybody looks at that and is thinking, oh yeah, especially over the last 2 weeks. Oh God, let's get long some Canadian currency. Actually, a lot of people have gotten bullish on the Canadian currency over the last 2 weeks. A lot of banks, a lot of analysis, but I think a lot of people are not seeing this. And so what happened What happened is then you know, you got the pair that broke down, got everybody short, stopped on a dime on that trend line, and has bounced back. And now here we are in between two trend lines, and now you got people thinking, oh God, what if crude oil, you saw the EIA data yesterday, what if crude oil, breaks down to 45 bucks? Well, if crude oil, breaks down to $45, isn't it going to just totally just squeeze the hell out of the rest of the market, right? I mean, I mean that's what I would be thinking, right? If crude oil really starts to sell off, I mean the dollar Canadian is going to squeeze right past here. So, I think what we got to be on the lookout for now. I'm not doing anything with the Canadian, just so you know. But if we break above this resistance here, 29.70, I think the squeeze is going to start. Support and spike low. I don't know if we're going to get back down there, but 128.60 is support. It's not great support, but it's support. And we're bearish for now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put us back in our range because I think the majority of the market really missed this yellow trend line, and the majority of the market that's short right now is probably thinking, "Oh crap, this thing's going to go right back up in my face." Okay, all right, guys. I'm going to go get some more coffee. I'll be back in a few minutes. I like taking my sweet ass time doing this analysis. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. We're going to get started again with the Kiwi and the Aussie and whatnot. If you guys haven't seen, the Kiwi is just sitting on its lows. It just probed new lows just moments ago, but really we're just basically sitting on our lows. So let's go over to the Kiwi. Now the Kiwi has been in it's been in an uptrend. We're towards the upper end of its channel. Now we've struggled with moves above 73 cents, and today's no different. We've been as high as what, 73.34. Now it's been a fairly tight range, but as you can see here, we're wavering as we get up towards that 73.40 level. I'm going to put that as really key resistance. Trendline support is going to come into play if we break through 73 cents. But there are buyers here. I mean, they've been pretty steady. But as you can see here now, if you just bring this trend line through here, really key support comes in at now 72. We're going to write down 72.65. Okay. That's where the rubber is going to meet the road on any move down. So 72.65. It's going to be really important because we're going to find out, if the Kiwi is going to go much higher or lower from here. Let's see. So this be a place for a bounce, or we get a sell off from here. So that's where I think it's going to be very important for the Kiwi. Okay. Let's go over to the Aussie. So yesterday, We were looking for a rally back up to 76.50, 76.60, excuse me, to be a good place to be on the short side of the Aussie. Unfortunately, we've only made it up to 76.38 or whatever, so we're still not quite making our way up there. And I don't know if this channel is really a good channel. I mean, I had it drawn kind of like this, but regardless, resistance, horizontal resistance will be right here. This is a fib confluence. So any move up to 76.60 should be good resistance. 76.60 should be good resistance. We are in a range. Now, remember the longer term view of the Aussie too. Just realize that we're in a big, big, big triangle. And like I said, I shorted the Aussie yesterday at 24. Still in it. I haven't done anything with it. Just sitting in it. I'm more or less short because of the tweezer tops on the weekly candles. So I wanted to make sure I had some short exposure because of that. It hasn't moved much. It hasn't really moved a whole lot, but it is what it is. Support. I mean, I think we've got to write down support right now as being this horizontal support, right? The horizontal support all comes in at, it's also a 50% retracement. It's, we got a bunch of, we got, just horizontal support coming in at 75.85. So let's write that down. 585. Pretty key support right now. All right, let's go over to the dollar index. Ooh, gold's breaking down again. I'm actually going to tweet that. Gold's hitting new trend lows, guys. Do you see that? Taking out the stops. Okay, gold's weak. All right, let's go over to the dollar index. Now, the dollar index is capped at 95 cents. This breakdown point still significant. Trendline support coming through here, and you can see how well we're supported. So 94.35 and 95. And 95 is key because if we break above 95, then we're going to start squeezing here in the dollar index if we can break above that. Okay. We're in a range. Let's take a look at the peso. When I looked at the peso yesterday, I was so upset about the peso. Because earlier this week, I bought the peso here and I sold it here, and I missed all of that. I was like, when I saw it yesterday, I was like, oh my God, I hadn't looked at it. And I saw how it ramped up, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that move. Totally missed that move. So anyway, so support. Still this channel. There we go. No. Damn it. There we go. So this is channel support, right? Here, let's get rid of these. I can just draw them again. So now any dip down to 1836, 18.36 will be support. And then resistance now, well, it's 1860 basically. It's a 618 retracement, right? 618 retracement. We can give it just above it. So, I mean, obviously to the spike high, so 1862 is resistance. We are in a range. We're in a, pretty big range, just bouncing around. Okay. The Norwegian krona. Same stuff with the Norwegian krona. 1826 to 812. 812, 826. Now, if you look at the Norwegian krona longer term, I mean, we are basically, I guess, I don't know if we're holding below. It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. But a move above 826 will squeeze the Norwegian krona. Now, what's interesting about the Norwegian krona as well is that with the weakness that we saw in crude oil yesterday, and the strength that we had in the dollar, weakness we had in gold, that didn't translate into weak Norwegian krona, which I think it's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? I really do. Um, all right, Swedish krona. Mm, Trendline support strong. So this is 830, basically 833.50. Strong support. 8.3350. That's strong support. We are closing in on some near-term resistance. 842, 843. Okay. And we are in a range. All right, guys. Your bias chart is done. I'm going to take some questions here in just a second. Drink some of my coffee.